Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon sets video, this time featuring Golduck. Now, I did an initial review of this Pokemon when 5th Gen first came out, theorizing about how pivotal this Pokemon could be in the OU metagame because of its ability Cloud9. However, since then that has not come to pass, so today I'm going to be bringing you a couple of sets to use with Golduck in the NU tier, where this Pokemon is basically tiered at the moment. So without any further waiting, let's take a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So first off, Golduck is a mono water type Pokemon introduced in Generation 1. However, it has often been misinterpreted as being water psychic just because of how this Pokemon was used in the anime and because it does have access to a few psychic moves. So just don't get that confused, it is only a water type. As for the abilities though, the first one that it gets is known as Damp, which is an ability that makes it impossible for your opponent to explode or self-destruct on you. Now this is kind of cool in general, but unfortunately self-destruct and explosion really aren't that common anymore, so you really wouldn't want to go with this ability as your choice between the three of them. As for your second ability though, it is known as Cloud9, which I kind of hinted at in the intro, which basically is an ability that cancels out weather as long as Golduck is in play. So if your opponent is, say, using like a sunny day team or something, you bring in Golduck, the sun is no longer in effect because Cloud9 has been presented onto the field. Similar, this works in against like rain and hail and sandstorm as well. So it can be pretty cool to mess with your opponent and bring Golduck in a pinch, in case your opponent is like stacking sweepers for certain types of weather. So that is a pretty cool use for Golduck if you want to go that route, which I do have a video on that I've made way long ago. But for its last ability, this is Golduck's Dream World ability known as Swift Swim, which is an awesome ability that doubles your speed under rain. So with that, you can actually become an incredibly fast sweeper, and also provide support for the rest of your team if you are going to be one of the Pokemon in your team setting up Rain Dance. But if you do that, it's going to obviously increase or double Golduck's speed and also increase the power of its water moves because of how rain works. But for the stats, Golduck has some pretty decent average defenses with 80 HP, 78 defense, and 80 special defense. Meaning that if you do want to EV this Pokemon to be defensive, it can definitely do that very easily. Also, 5th Gen brought it access to Scald, so it can become incredibly good as a bulky water type if you do want to use it that way. As for its attacking stats, though, those are also both pretty good, being at 82 physical attack and 95 special attack. It can go either physical or special. Obviously, special is a little bit more powerful, and it does learn a little bit more powerful special moves than it does physical moves, but if you do want to go either route, you definitely can with Golduck. And lastly, it has a pretty average base 85 speed, meaning that it's going to be on par with a ton of Pokemon, so it'll definitely potentially be a very fast sweeper if you do want to use it as a speedy offense. But overall, Golduck, as you can see, has very well-rounded stats, so it can do a host of different things if you want to allow it to. But with that, let's take a look at the first set I have for you in this video, which I presented a very long time ago, but I feel like a lot of people forgot about, so I might as well just re-show it here. So for this first set, we're going to start by giving Golduck a Jolly Nature to increase its speed but lower its special attack. And then we're going to be going with the ability Cloud9 because I do not think you can use one of the moves on this set with its Dream World ability, which is a bit unfortunate. But for the EVs, we're going to put 252 into our physical attack, 4 for our physical defense, and then 252 EVs into our speed to give us our max physical attack and max speed possible with the Jolly Nature. And for the item, we could either go with a combination of Leftovers or a combination of Lumberry. And Leftovers is obviously great for that passive recovery every turn, and there actually will be opportunities with this set to gain some Leftovers recovery, which is really nice. But if you want to prevent any type of status being inflicted on Golduck, like a burn or something, definitely go with Lumberry because that'll be essential in allowing Golduck to do the most damage it can while surviving a really long time in battle. For the moves, the first one that we're going to go with on this set is going to be Hypnosis, as a way to potentially put your opponent to sleep. Now, unfortunately, this move only has 60% accuracy, so it will miss a fair amount of times. However, because of the second move on this set, known as Hone Claws, this actually can be avoided pretty easily. Hone Claws is a boosting move introduced in Gen 5 that allows you to increase your physical attack and your accuracy by one stage every time you use it. So we are actually able to use some pretty inaccurate moves with the set after a couple Hone Claws boosts because they will hit a lot more often. As for the main attacking moves of the set, though, the first one we're going to go with is going to be Waterfall, because that'll be our main stab attack on Golduck, because it's physical water move, obviously. And then the next move on the set is going to be Dynamic Punch, which you can use pretty effectively with Hone Claws, because even though Dynamic Punch only has 50% accuracy, after a couple Hone Claws boosts, you can pretty much use it freely without having to worry about it missing. And this set is absolutely fantastic because it does so many things all in one. You can put opponent to sleep, you can boost your own physical attack, making you a more dangerous sweeper, and you can also you can confusion flinch your opponent with a combination of the 20% flinch chance from Waterfall and the 50% chance from confusion that Dynamic Punch provides every time you use it. So overall, this set can do a ton of different things, and it's a very effective physical set for Golduck to use in battle. As for this next set, we're going to start by giving Golduck a bold nature to increase its physical defense and lower its physical attack. And this time we actually can go with the ability Swift Swim, so why not do it? For the EVs though, we're going to put 252 into our HP to give us max HP, 248 into defense to give us our max physical defense, and then the remainder EVs into speed to just make us a little bit faster, and potentially outspeed things in the same speed tier as Golduck that have no speed investment. For the item though, we're actually going to go with Leftovers this time. It's the only option on this set just because we do want to get a ton of recovery while we're making this set, because it's going to be a pretty bulky boosting set for Golduck to implement. So for the first move on the set, and we're going to pay attention to the left side first, we're going to go with Substitute as a way to get behind a protective barrier, and with a Substitute up and max physical defense, Golduck's subs will be very difficult to break from the physical side, which is something that's really cool and will allow it to set up a lot more freely than any other Pokemon maybe normally would be able to without the defensive stats that Golduck has. As for the next move on the set though, we're going to go with Calm Mind as a way to boost our special attack and our special defense, thus making us very bulky from both the physical and special side because of our EV investment, and also boosting Golduck's offensive power because of the special attack raise that Calm Mind provides. But with that, we're also going to make use of Scald, which is absolutely fantastic on this set. I cannot tell you how great this move is on this set, because not only are you having max physical defense and boosting your special defense, now you also have a chance to burn your opponent, which can potentially limit their ability to break your subs as well from the physical side. Obviously, you'd have to be weary of some things with guts and whatnot, but having Scald to basically make your subs impossible to break from the physical side, and that's just me over-exaggerating maybe just a little bit there, is absolutely fantastic and will make Golduck very difficult to take down after a couple Calm Mind boosts. As for the last move in the set though, if we're paying attention to the left side, we're going to go with Psychic, even though it's not stab unfortunately, but it provides Golduck some pretty good coverage and is very nice to have. If you do want to go for some other options though, you could go for either Ice Beam or Focus Blast. But the reason why I go with Psychic on this set is because if you do go with something else, first of all, Focus Blast is very inaccurate, and Ice Beam will leave you basically walled by water types. So Psychic is really great because a lot of grass types that you would want Ice Beam for are also poison, so you could hit those super effectively anyway, and also it provides you some pretty neutral coverage all around against a lot of the things you're going to be fighting against. So overall, the set is just meant to boost and be very difficult to take down after a couple substitutes. Now, an alternative option you can run on the set, which is why I have the whole right side of this, is you could run a Rest, Sleep Talk, Calm Mind, Scald set, which is basically impossible to kill once you can start using it. And this is essentially Suicune in NU, and by comparison, like, this Pokemon is almost just as effective as that. So really, if you want to go with either of these two sets, you're more than welcome to try them out. Both are extremely effective, and if you do go with the Rest Sleep Talk version, while you do have a bit of a limited attack option just because of Scald, you basically will never die, which is really cool to know. But with that, let's take a look at a video clip of me using this set on Showdown that I did the other day, where I basically sweep a team with this set after one of their Pokemon goes down. So in this clip, you can start by seeing that I U-turn out into Golduck on this Alomomola because I know that Alomomola can literally do nothing to this Golduck, so I'm free to set up a sub and start Calm Minding. Now he does bring in Gardevoir. Gardevoir is a very great specially defensive wall, so that's actually a great option for him. However, he does switch out for some reason, but I'm free to just keep setting up subs and Scalding. Now he brings in Ditto here, and it's really funny because he thinks like he's going to kill me because he's going to inherit my boosts, but I can keep boosting, whereas he's Scarfed, so he can't, so I just kill it anyway. Golduck comes in, kill with Scald. Set up another sub on Alomomola because I know it can't touch me. 2-hit KO it with Psychic, and then Gardevoir comes in and I KO that again with Scald. So as you can see, this set is just incredibly effective if you get the opportunity to set up. It's very difficult to take down. If you want to calc some of the damage that it takes from like some really powerful physical moves, it's pretty impressive on what Golduck can actually live, and also live without the sub breaking. For example, a Scarf Braviary's U-turn won't break your sub. Sawk will fail to 2-hit KO with Close Combat, which is really awesome. And you can obviously just kill it right back with Psychic without even boosting because of the defense drop Close Combat has. But overall, it just turns Golduck into a very offensive powerhouse, and both these sets are really cool for using some more unique options on this Pokemon. But anyways, that is it for this video, everyone. So as always, take care, goodbye, and I'll see you next time.